a bit of Weber concertino. You know, Weber's like the prime example of going back to scales and arpeggios, because that's pretty much all this is. And yeah, great job on this bit. It's a difficult passage. Now Weber was an interesting character, because what he always wanted to do was write opera, but he wasn't particularly great at it. But all of his music is very operatic in style. And to me, what that means is, even on one instrument, we have to imagine all of these different characters, all these separate singers, if you like, that we have to kind of create with one instrument. So, you know, you have some slow movements in here, like the lento, which is really like the sad, soulful kind of section, which you really have to find that pain almost. And then there are some other sections like this, which are supposed to be incredibly happy. So, you have to find all these different characters from one instrument and in one piece, which can be quite difficult. What I notice here, you can take, where was it? Yeah, here. If you take a little bit more time at the top, it kind of makes it sound a little bit more like, a bit more cheeky, like somebody's laughing. So instead of, well, if you play what's written on the page, and he doesn't write to take any time. If you go, that's exactly what's written on the page. Now, by doing something very slight with the top note, you can make it much more humorous. So, and that's like very operatic. The audience, you've got to imagine, if this is the first time they've ever heard this piece for a lot of people, you know, they don't know what's coming next. You know what's happening. So you have to tease them. If you play it, the audience is like, oh, what comes next? Back to there. And then you think, what, is the tune coming back? But and then there's decoration. So it kind of just adds confusion to it. And then back into here, crescendo touch into there. So that's one thing. Now one thing I want you to do here, just take this phrase. And I want you to do the dotted rhythm. So like that. Just up to there, and just do it all legato. As slow as you need to not make a mistake. And the one thing we need to think about a lot is very snappy rhythm. The short note should be very, very short. And it's easier when you have a metronome, but get your metronome out and you instantly notice the places where you would run. And if there's passages where it's uneven and you do it slowly, imagine then when you speed it up, that thing gets bigger and bigger. So the unevenness was right around here, right head. It's all around there. Now a really good exercise, because getting everything even with our, we call them little fingers, you guys call them pinkies in America. And again, all around the throat register, it's quite a difficult area to get very, very nice and even. So aside, even before you start playing, it's a really good exercise is to just go around these keys with your little finger. Again, with your metronome on. Then the other way around. And then do diagonal. But in the top group. And then the bottom two. And then these two and those two, and then you can start. Go all around. And again, you want to do it firstly very, very slowly with the metronome out. And then you do the other side as well. And once you've done all of that, then you can do diagonal and then diagonal here. Anything you can imagine. And again here, with the metronome. So even aside from playing, if you were to do that kind of thing, by the time you get here, it's already going to be more even. Now I want you to do the same again, but the other way, so the short note first. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Yeah. It's a bit slower. Now I want you to do 3 notes and stop. So da da dum, ba ba da, na na na. Yeah. Now of course you do dot rhythms this way, but now what I want you to do is to play it backwards. Let's get evil. So as slow as you, no dotted rhythms, just as slow as you need to play every note as it should be. I'm sorry, I'm being kidding. It's a fun bit. Yeah? It's much more difficult than it appears, isn't it? It's not easy. Then of course you're 5 times the mode, etc, etc. You know, people are like, well, why? Firstly, why am I doing all these funky rhythms? What's the point? Now the real reason is when we learn it, we would learn the sequence. So we learn where our fingers go in sequence with each other and where the focus point is in a normal phrase. But when you go on stage and play, sometimes your brain and your fingers don't talk to each other the same way that, well, maybe they should. So what happens when you change the rhythms is it puts the focus or puts the impetus onto a different note. And you actually start learning and thinking about where the fingers are going and the relationship between each individual note, rather than it as a whole sequence. And once you do that, then I want you to go back and play it just slowly, normally, with all the articulation and all. Your fingers, and you would have learnt it in your head, I mean, rather than just muscle memory. So now I want you... just like that. And now I want you to go back to here, the beginning of this section, and play it up to speed. Let's see what happens.
With the same articulation?
What, no, just whatever normal, as you did before.
Okay.
You see? We've done, yeah, we're around the floor. So we spent a matter of minutes on that one passage, and in comparison to the first one, to me, it was cleaner, it was more even, and had even more shape to it as well. So if you spend a couple of minutes doing that, if you spent 10 minutes on one phrase and the whole thing, then it takes it to a new level. So what I'd say in this, especially, is firstly practice all the difficult passages with that rhythm in mind, and try and imagine, go through the whole piece and identify what is the character, what's the emotion at the time. Is it happy? Is it sad? You know, is it joyful? Is it playful? You know, there's all these different things, and then you start to imagine, okay, how do I get that across to the audience? That's the hard bit. That's the real being a musician part. Yeah, you know, I go on about playing the notes, but you know, there's hundreds of thousands of clarinet players in the world that, given enough time, can play the notes on the page. The key and the hard bit, and the thing that I think only a handful of musicians can really do very well, is get the emotion across to the audience in a very convincing way. So that's what we have to think about. And there is no surefire way of how do you do that. You know, sometimes by listening to other recordings, by recording yourself and listening back. And that's when it starts getting fun. But yeah, as I said, I'd love to spend even more time. Thank you very much.